We're Marilyn and Paul Saffert from Rice Lake, Wisconsin. We're in Barron County, and we'd like to welcome you to our garden. We've been gardening for about 40 years here. You know, when we bought the place, and an apple tree had died, and we had a stump, and Paul didn't want to cut it out, so we put dirt around it and made it a flower garden, and that was my first flower garden. I learned how to start seed back 40 years ago because there were no greenhouses around here. Every year I have some new types of plants. And it's a cottage garden. I've always liked everything close. That's the sea holly. That's a biennial, so the first year it will give you just the leaves, and then the second year you get that. So then I cut them back in the fall, and there'll be all new ones somewhere different in the spring. The daylilies, I just let them mulch themselves with their leaves. And the regular lilies, I try to leave quite a bit of the stem there, so in the spring I know there's something there, so I don't dig up the bulbs. I have about 150 or maybe more now. They're so easy to grow, and there's so many beautiful new ones now. So I keep adding a few more. I'll take old perennials out that I don't like anymore and put in a new daylily. This has turned into the Teapot Garden with the teapots and then the Dr. Seuss birdhouses, and to add color when the lilies are not blooming. Birds, well, some of them will build in there. Some are polka dotted, some are striped. He sells a lot of them to the garden tours that come through. People take it home as a little souvenir. Then I just tuck in those are mallow plants there too. There's light pink ones and white ones. They just add a little something extra. Paul does all the birdhouses and metal art and the horseshoe art. The first horseshoes, we had friends that had horses, and we would get our own horses shod or whatever, and so we had horseshoes. Paul has made a bluegrass band, making a guitar and banjo and fiddle. Chain from a barn cleaner. I don't think we think of ourselves as artistic, no. But we like to make stuff.
I'm a farm boy who knows how to weld, and that's about it.
We have a lot of sundials in the yard, and this is the one in the ground. And you stand on the month, and you will be the stick. Your shadow will tell you what time it is. So that's July. Is it about 11 o'clock? I think it is. Yeah. And that's the Flanders Red Poppy. Paul is a veteran. And so that's the one that the veterans sell for your lapel. Flanders field poppies. These are the trough gardens. They stay here all winter. Some of the succulents are perennial. Some of them are probably already 30 years old. So this used to be the regular rock garden, and then I started doing fairy gardens. So then it was my fairy gardens for a few years. Then I started collecting fairy tale figurines and Mother Goose figurines. So there are 45 representations of those in here. So you've got Baa Black Sheep and 3 little kittens and Cinderella, Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall. You know, I would read those stories to my kids and then to the grandkids. The witch, the monkey, you can see the flying monkey is up on the bench there. A lot of pictures taken on the yellow brick roads. And then this is the Alice in Wonderland, and that's my collection of miniature hostas. 35 years ago, I'd say. Started getting just the regular standard hosta. Well, then pretty soon there was all these newer ones, and I've bought a few of them. I think there's around 400 hostas in that bed. And the needles from the pine tree just make perfect mulch. It's just perfect. We have good soil here. It's good farm soil. The outdoor library is probably around 5 years old. I had bricks, so we started painting the books that we wanted represented, and that stays out there all winter, so it's my outdoor library. We don't have a dog anymore. Our last dog has been gone 3 years, but we leave the doghouse there and we plant it with moss roses on top. I think Paul put the pergola up maybe around 7 years ago, and then he made the table so that our family with the grandkids we would all fit under there. And there's grapes hanging in on the top, and then there's solar lights underneath, which is interesting even in the winter. This has just been my passion, this garden. I love it, and I've made so many friends and had just a great time with it.